What to do, everybody? It's your boy LOG from Where There's Smoke. Here going live with y'all, as I said I would, to kind of review the rest of the Trump stuff from the day or the night of the inauguration and the following day. So I got two different videos from that, and I have a few other videos to react to of Willie D and then the PBD podcast. Um, and they're talking about the people that performed. Uh, I'm not sure. I don't think it was the inaugurational ball, but it was some kind of a performance they had. I believe the Friday night before the inauguration. Uh, Got a sore. Anyway, um, my retainer's been rubbed me wrong last night. I don't know why, but anyway, uh, yeah. So we got something to react to that, and kind of a hypocritical thing. I'm gonna call out Willie D and really put some heat to that lame. Like he's doing some shit that I'm not really messing with. Try to keep it PG with the language here in the first 5-10 minutes of the stream, hopefully. But anyway, we're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over the Trump stuff, and we'll see if anything else comes up that's a hot topic right now. But before I really get into it, let me check all the different streams, make sure everything's going good, and y'all give me a second, and I will be right back.
It's that Centex boys, and we're out here, and we've got something to say. Man, what the fuck is going on with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Another day. Another day I gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that were lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. I gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that were lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. Never know when you're gonna lose your life someday. There's a price to be paid. Way worth than gold. Evilness wanna take your soul. Wake up when you're gonna wake up. The finger is pointing too close to home. Wake up always when you're gonna wake up when alone. Even started taking our phones just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day.
You didn't like me Sunday.
I got unity in my circle.
Where was your unity for me on Sunday?
I don't like you right now.
Another day, switch of lace, about to put out a mixtape. All right, my bad for that. Thanks for being patient with me. All right, let's get into it. We got some of that Snoop Dogg, I think Soulja Boy, and Nelly were the three big names that I saw that everyone was up in arms about, so to speak. Let me see real quick. Okay. And yeah, so let's look at our first video.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Snoop Dogg is facing intense criticism from some of his most die-hard fans for his decision to perform at the Crypto Ball, an exclusive inauguration event celebrating Donald Trump, your president, as the first crypto.
That's so crooked the way he does that. I wonder how, like, if I put my finger as close as I can to my camera, that's what it looks like. So I wonder how close he's getting his finger to his camera. Let me see. He's crooked.
President. Yeah. It has been reported as a sold-out affair
Look at that picture of Snoop. That is so crooked.
on Friday night, being put on by the crypto industry to celebrate what the invitation calls the first crypto president. The news, first reported by the New York Times as Kenneth P. Vogel, has sparked particular outrage given Snoop's complicated history with the former and now incoming president, and how so many who have rocked with Snoop since Gin and Juice are staunchly against the incoming POTUS. The exclusive event scheduled for Friday night with tickets priced at $2,500 and VIP reception access at an astounding $100,000 per head is being organized by the crypto industry in conjunction with Trump's super PAC, MAGA Inc. While Snoop has not officially confirmed his appearance, the mere idea of his involvement with the Orange Man on any level has triggered immense disappointment and anger among his fan base.
Why?
Log this one under reports I thought I would never make.
You just haven't been paying attention then, have you?
Don't do it, Snoop. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do that. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. I can see, fam, if somebody's out there who really ain't got no type of integrity, they struggling, they need some money. And I gotta say no integrity because certain things I'm just not gonna do for any amount of money. Let me tell you something.
Well, that's real interesting to say because we're going to see what you do here soon. And it's some real dumb, retarded shit. And I'm wondering if it wasn't money that made you do it, then what was it? Or you're just lying right here, which would not surprise me. You're just adding on to the, well, I'll get to it.
Something I know about life. If you don't know what you will do for money, you better know what you won't do for money. Because not knowing what you will do for money will have you doing something strange for a little change. It'll have you in some dark places, have you afraid to look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah, man. They say desperate situations calls for desperate measures. When you have integrity, when you have boundaries, they're on default when you're at your lowest. Certain things you're just not going to do. There's a number of people who have aligned themselves with Trump over the years who have been favorites with the black community. And once they crossed over there, they were never the same. They were never treated the same. They were never ever trusted again. Don't want to see Snoop do himself like that. Don't do your legacy like that, man. Don't want to see him do his legacy like that. And look, this could all just be.
I think I may have said this on another stream, but I definitely have been. This has been a point of conversation amongst the people I've been talking with lately, friends and family. The perception of Trump, I saw this somewhere, and again, it's been a point of conversation, but the perception of Trump is not what it was when he first came out in 2015 or 2016. He's been around. We've all become kind of dulled to his tactics, if you will, and it's almost like it's just not a surprise when he does these things anymore. And we all know that the sting is gone because we know the bite's not really as much there on a lot of the stuff. So it's almost like, okay, that's just Trump. That's just who he is. And until he gives us reason to think otherwise, yeah, we've just become dull to him. And it's like, I think people are tired of them really playing on like the race thing with him. And does he say some stuff that's borderline racist sometimes? Yeah, but is he a racist himself? Actually, genuinely? Doesn't seem to be so. And there's other things like that where if you take the worst thing he's ever said, and I'm not a fan of him again. I bash him plenty and make fun of him and call out his hypocrisies. I did a whole breakdown with him and Rogan where I'm ripping him the whole time. So it's not just that, but I will say we've become a lot more used to the character of him. And I think, if you're someone that views the presidency in a certain way, you should just accept that he's the president. And if you're someone that respects that office, then people have just come to respect him because he's in that office, and yeah, you're not able to paint him as such a big, bad, evil person when we've seen otherwise. So is he the best person ever? No. Is he still a greasy politician? Yes. But for you to make it seem like he's the demon of all politicians ever is like kind of hard to really make that argument anymore when we've seen that's not really true. Now he could prove otherwise, and I don't like any politicians, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you know the channel, you know the vibes, but yeah, I just think this whole thing of if you're believing in the system, but you believe that Trump is the worst one out of the system, you're fucked, basically.
Oh, really?
Like, grow up, Willie. Learn that the whole system is fucked. Come on now.
Bad rumor. We don't know. Snoop hasn't spoken on it yet. I couldn't see myself rocking with Donald Trump on any level. Donald Trump uses black folks.
That's because you're a race baiter. We're about to get to that. And then I think I have 2 more videos. I think it's the last one with Willie D, where he really says some crazy shit.
Folks for photo ops. That's it. And he tries to play both sides of the fence. On one side, he team white supremacy. On the other side, he'll throw a black person a symbolic bone. Nothing major. Never forget, Trump was sued for discriminating against black people who were trying to live in his apartment complex in New York. Well, you know, the rappers were saying his name in the songs, and they were taking pictures with him, and, you know, he wasn't racist till he started running for office. Now, he's always been racist. He was just able to...
Maybe he just hit it well, but, like, okay, I might be even willing to concede that, but you're going to think that all, like... You think that he's the only one, you know? And I mean, maybe he is racist. I don't know. I really think it's a lot more about the money with him than anything, though. And, you know, it's hard for me to speak on something that happened before I was even born.
In his apartment complex in New York. Trump was sued for discriminating against black people who were trying to live in his apartment complex in New York.
When? I would love, like, I thought he said the year, but let's go back real quick.
Play both sides of the fence. On one side, he teamed...
Not that it ever makes it right, no matter when it was, but I'm just curious if we have
white supremacy,
some context to that to even know if it's true, or what like, are you just saying that, or like, you know.
On the other side, he'll throw a black person a symbolic bone. Nothing major. Never forget, Trump was sued for discriminating against black people who were trying to live in his apartment complex in New York. Well, you know, the rappers were saying his name in the songs, and they were taking pictures with him, and, you know, he wasn't racist till he started running for...
I'm trying to be sympathetic here. So, but here's what I need to get to this other video because I keep trying to play off that point to prove my point here, but I guess that's also not the best tactic. So I will say here, like, I am sympathetic to Trump being a racist potentially, and that's fucked, obviously. But in this video I'm mentioning, Willie D is going to take... I'll just wait till... I'm against racism, obviously, but don't cry victim here and then go ahead and say something racist, which I feel like I keep getting ahead of myself, but Willie D is basically going to say something racist in the third video. So don't cry here that you don't like racist, and then you're going to go ahead and be racist here coming up. So
for office now, he's always been racist. He was just able to conceal his racism before he ran for office. He's always been that dude. He kind of like...
Are we going to keep that same energy with you when you say something racist here in a minute? Are we going to say, well, maybe you've just been able to hide it well. Maybe you've always been. That's another, like, it's just like, man, you're really pushing down on this.
Like, you know, move like liberals, like white liberals. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them, they're racist. but they front like they're your friend. But deep down inside, man, they got that white supremacy in them. And they're just like the conservatives. They're just like the Republicans.
It's almost like he has a hard time finding a white person he likes, which is what we're getting to.
Deep down inside, many of them.
And I've been a fan of Willie D for a while. I mean, I like this channel. I like his style, I like how he investigates, and you know, he usually does have good morals and stuff. But I just don't like the arguments he's making in these videos. That's why I'm commentating on him. But I've commentated on other times when I've agreed with him and such. So anyway,
just like them. There ain't really no difference. The only really real difference is rhetoric. That's it. You know, rhetoric, and I would say the way that they communicate. You got the Republicans who are typical, and that's to leave you behind. And him the felon president. Ain't nobody got any felon parties?
all right. So now here is, hold on. Excuse me. All right, this is Willie D. A couple of days later after that, talking to Nelly, who also performed at that same thing where Snoop performed, and they kind of get into it. We probably won't watch this whole 12-minute thing, but
Willie D Live.
Considering the backlash that you've received for agreeing to this performance, right?
But I've been getting backlash. I've been getting backlash my whole career.
But this particular backlash is different.
Right.
How do you reconcile your artistic choices with the diverse political beliefs of your fan base?
That's my fan base. If my fan base really have a political belief, right? Here's the thing. Like, I agree in family first. I believe in family first. Period. Family before politics, family above and beyond. Like, right? Like, so now we don't always seem like we're making those choices sometimes when when we grow up the way that we grow up. Sometimes when we in the hoods and we're doing certain things, it's like, no, you're not putting your family first when you out there hustling, or you're not really putting your family first. Like, we can rationalize that and say that we are. But really we're not, because we're taking certain choices. But in our hearts, we truly believe that. So in this type of situation, if my fans are so, if politics is above and beyond anything other than what that person stands for, what that person has done, then I apologize that I, quote unquote, let you down, because I thought you was riding with me for the scholarships that I've been giving away since I've been in this business. I thought you was riding with me for the people that I got signed up on the bone marrow stem cell registry that was all record breaking and helping people save lives. I thought you was riding with your boy for the children that we visit at Children's Hospital to Brains. I thought you was riding with me for the bikes and the presents and the things that we give away to unfortunate kids at Christmas. I thought you was riding with me because I put on for my city and I try to bring my city up every step of the way. I did not know you was riding with me because you thought I would ride for who you voted for.
see, that's a good point. And like I said earlier, it's becoming this thing where if you believe in the system and you honor the office of president, which that's a whole other thing, then you have to accept Trump as the president on some level, and it becomes this thing where you just kind of, what am I trying to say? Not that he's humanizing himself, but he is not humanizing the position, but he's rationalizing the position is what he's doing. And he's given all these points of saying, like, he just rationalizes his position and saying, I didn't do it as a political statement. I just did it for, like, quote unquote, he's already the president, which he's going to say. And I just did it for the president and for the country and for, like, more or less the prestige of doing it and for the check because of all these other good things I do, and et cetera, like he was just saying. So he really does a good job of rationalizing his position, not making it about I'm supporting Trump and just making it about I'm supporting who the president is now. I'm getting the check and I'm gonna do good with that, and you're supporting me type of thing. And the reason I wanted to play this was because I thought it was a good job of him showing how there could be two ways of thinking about almost anything. And I wanted to show Willie D's reaction and show that, like, it's interesting how he was so ready to just come down hard on Snoop. But then when someone comes on his stream, he seems real ready to listen and really forgiving, so to speak, and really understanding, as we're going to see as I let it play out a little more. And I just want to say, like, I guess that's how, like, streaming, reaction videos, social media, all this kind of stuff now can be. Because, like, even I will get on here and, like, I'm reacting to somebody or going over what they're saying, and I'll go hard on them. But then if I saw them in person or if I had them on the stream, would I really still be having that exact same energy that I would be having if it was just me talking to the stream and reacting? You're going to go, like, basically get on a rant, say all this crazy shit, motherfucker, this, that, and tell them all this shit. And then if they're here in person or on the stream with you, you're probably going to address it in a lot more calm and, like, just toned down to the max type of thing. But I just thought that was an interesting case of that right now. And I was thinking about how I do and how I would be. So it's just, you know, it'd be the same way, but I just thought that was super interesting to see, and I'm gonna let it play out maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, not the whole thing, and then we'll move on to the third video where, anyway, yeah, the title of the video is prevalent, where Willie D really is wildin'. But anyway, let's finish. You know, I'll let another minute or two of this play out.
I didn't know that. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know that I had to agree with your political choices, and I thought it was the things that you do, not the things that you say should be done. If you follow what I do, this shouldn't even be an argument. He's the president. He won. This isn't a campaign. This isn't an RNC. I'm not out on the political campaign. I didn't get none of that 1.5. You see what I'm saying? Like, to try to help somebody get voted.
Kamala didn't invite you to
No. She didn't invite me.
She didn't invite me either, man. I was going to do all that home.
Like,
You always being friendly to him.
But I don't knock the ones that did. I don't knock the brothers and sisters that benefited from it. I don't knock the correspondents that may have gotten money to do that. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. I respect the office. It don't matter who is in office. The same way that our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country, have to go to war and have to put their life on the line for whoever in office. So if they can put their life on the line for whoever in office, I can damn sure perform for whoever.
What do you say to the people that say we're not giving you this backlash because of your political affiliation or your political choice or whatever? We're giving you this backlash because you are propping up a white supremacist.
I would ask them to show me where he's a white supremacist, and here's the thing.
Ooh, I wonder if Willie D's gonna push back on this.
Okay, I get it. He did say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? Oh no, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Hold on. He did create.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
He did create the crime bill in the 90s, which said that.
Come on, Willie D, be mad at him. Remember how Trump always was a racist and still is? Come on now, don't let go. Don't let go of that thought.
5 grams of crack. You do a mandatory.
Now Nelly's saying all these racist things that Biden did throughout the years. You know.
5 years that had mass incarceration. I think even the Vice President Kamala spoke on that part that said that the crime bill played a huge part. He didn't do that. Let me see. What did he do? I'm trying to think. The white supremacist. Hold on. I'm gonna get to it. Okay. He did not rent to black people. What was it, in the 70s or the 80s? Is that what they said? And like, okay, is he written to him now? So nobody's allowed to change, right? See, here's the thing. So we can talk about past, but we never want to talk about our past. If our past get brought up in our community.
Yeah, that was 50 well, 50 years ago,
For a
probably.
lot of what our men did, we always call it rehabilitate. Yo, these young brothers, we've been through a lot. I know I've been through a lot. If my past was what was going to prevent me from winning today, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that he ain't got some fucked up ways. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's why I'm not telling you who to vote for.
See, he's making a good argument for his point.
But what I'm saying
Or
is
he's
that
rationalizing his stance well, I would say.
he's the president of the United States. He's not the candidate for the United States. He's the president. He won.
I think if Trump, some of these ways, like, you know, with the housing discrimination that he participated in back in the 80s, if that was the a one-off, if that was, or even if he had some other things going on where he looked like a bigot to us, that might be one thing. But it's another thing when he starts saying things like when you have a situation where you have Black folks getting their heads blown off by the police with impunity, and Trump says, I'm going to give them even more impunity.
Hold on.
We're going to be the ones affected the most by something like
impunity. He's not giving them.
He didn't say he was going to give them impunity. He said he was going to give them immunity.
Right. Not for working outside of your job. Nobody's going to give anybody immunity to go around and shoot and kill people, right? That means he could go around and shoot and kill the president. But that's what he said he was going to do. That means police can go around and shoot and kill the president. No, if you look at that law, it says outside of the scope of their job. It's the same thing, and a lot of us would agree right now that the police already have it, right? So why?
Yeah, they already have crazy stuff they can do. I mean,
why would we think that would mean that if they're not paying now, then they're not going to pay, right? Listen.
Man, don't hit me with the bird, man, dog. Don't hit me with the bird.
Yeah. No, because I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to get into, rhetoric and regurgitation of what, back and forth on either side is happening because I
like that. That is a media trained thing to say, but that's a good thing to say.
That's why I'm not telling you who to vote for.
Anyway, I think Nelly handled it well. Willie D definitely didn't press down as hard on him as he was being in that other video, or as he act like he would have been to Snoop Dogg. And it's like he could have still handled it cool, but still had a hardline position. Like, well, he had this other thing, and he had this other thing, and come with facts. But it's like once Nelly rationalized his position, he realized he could have kept going, but he either realized he didn't have any other good points or he didn't want to bad enough, which is not, if you believe in something, fight for it, even if you do it in a respectful way. So that's what I'm going to try to do in this next video where I almost wish he would make a video like retracting this. But anyway, let's let it play out. This was posted today on Willie D Live. It's called "This is Worse Than Trump Revoking the 1965 Civil Rights Bill that Prohibited Employee Discrimination."
Willie?
Which I don't know why he says this is worse than that, because literally that's what he talks about. So it's kind of a misleading title, but whatever.
What's up, family? Donald Trump, your president,
he loves that one.
Signed a new executive order Tuesday canceling a 1965 civil rights rule.
Damn, look at that photo of Trump.
That helped prevent job discrimination by federal contractors, subcontractors, and grant recipients. His order also directs federal agencies to investigate private companies that use diversity-focused hiring practices. Mr. Tangerine criticized diversity programs as dangerous and claimed they unfairly favor certain groups based on race, sex, or disabilities. He argued that these practices violate civil rights laws and discriminate against others. The order specifically targets hiring practices at the Federal Aviation Administration, ending special programs that help people with disabilities get jobs. Trump claimed such programs prioritize diversity over safety and excellence. Critics say the move could harm efforts to create opportunities for all, but Trump argues it's all about equality for everyone. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're probably panicking.
You're probably panicking. Oh no. Oh, I wanted to talk real quick before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video. I was talking with my friend today, and I haven't done any research, so I don't know how true this is. But just at face value, the law that he's talking about says that it helps, or it keeps them from discriminating when they're hiring based on race, religion, sex, disability, pretty much everything. And I was saying, and I don't remember where I heard this, but this is pretty much a well-known thing that recently I heard this, and it's a well-known thing that they'll have a law, and like the law will have what you think it is on the surface, and then it'll have all the stuff in fine print that is really either garbage or not related to the main thing that the law is trying to push through. I'm totally ignorant to all the legal jargon, but basically they have a bunch of deceptive stuff in the bill that you wouldn't even think would be part of it. I heard that that's how this bill was, and it had a bunch of that diversity hire, just bullshit that Trump was trying to do away with, which I overall think would be a good thing if you don't force it, because like that in itself is racist when you force people to hire someone based off a race. And there's diversity within every race. So to say that everyone of the same race is the same, that in itself is racist. So that whole diversity hire thing is almost like racist in a way. And it was starting to bear out, and you could see it with like the left really kind of manipulating it in the worst ways. So anyway, saying all that to say, supposedly that old bill that Trump just repealed had a bunch of other stuff below the surface that it was also doing that was bad that people don't realize. They just hear the initial thing. Oh, it kept him from discriminating on these few things, so it's great. It's like, okay, but it had all this other stuff in the fine print that was terrible, supposedly. So maybe that'd be something to research. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Maybe I'll research it and shout it out in the next live stream or something. But anyway, let's get back to this video where Willie D's going to say some crazy shit.
You're probably saying, oh, Lord, he's going to try to put us back in slavery.
Dude, no one's saying that. Come on. That's the thing about Willie D. Sometimes I really like his videos when he's being critical of somebody and analyzing a situation, and he has some of the facts behind it, and he has a good old school approach, and he has like saying things that I like. And then sometimes he's just like a race baiting moron, like in this video. And like, I want to be careful with my videos and more pointed with what I say, because like I know everyone, like I was saying earlier, you will be such and such when you're reacting to a video and here alone with just like either the viewers and myself and just looking at a screen, versus if he was actually on the other side of the screen or if he was here in person. But as I was saying, I have respect for some things he does, but then when he starts to do this thing where he race baits, and I could really break it down thoroughly, and I'm going to here in a minute when I'm basically just gonna let him make himself look like a fool. But like, yeah, I'd have to break down some other videos. Maybe that'd be a future breakdown if I really cared to. But anyway, like, if I was on a stream with him, or if he was here in person, I would really look back to other evidence where he said things that just aren't really true, and he really like, no one's thinking Trump's going to put him back in slavery. He has never indicated that, never hinted toward that. No one's really thinking that. You're just trying to get people riled up and scared into almost thinking that kind of thing, and like making it seem like Trump is racist when he's not, and like pouring more flames on that fire instead of trying to hope for the best type of thing. It's like, why are you anyway? And he's gonna do that even more. He's really about to dump some gasoline on the fire, like I've been hinting at for these first probably 15 or 20 minutes. But anyway, let's get to it.
Let me tell you something, fam. We don't need that motherfucker.
Woo! You like that? I was ranting. I was ranting. So that really didn't hit as hard as I would have liked it to. But let me back it up and just let it play through.
Lord, he's going to try to put us back in slavery. Let me tell you something, fam. We don't need that motherfucker. Straight up. We don't need Trump.
I like that energy, but you should have been thinking that like about every politician ever from the jump. Like, I do cover politics here on the channel, and I do follow it because I feel like most people still vote and somewhat believe in it, quote unquote. But that disappoints me. Me covering it and me talking about it with people is trying to get people to realize how much garbage I think it is and how bullshit it is, and to leave it alone. If everyone left it alone, I wouldn't cover it or talk about it, or I would love for that to be the case. But and with that being said, I don't depend on politician X, politician Y, politician Z, like the governor, the district attorney, or the local mayor, or the president. I don't depend on any of these different people. I mean, you could pay attention to who they are and move accordingly a little bit, but I don't look at who those people are and let it change or affect my life. I still gotta do what I gotta do. I still gotta have goals. I still gotta be organized. I still gotta work and keep my life in order and have my goals and move forward and shit that I gotta do. None of those people are affecting me. I still have my friends, my family, my obligations, etc., etc., etc. I don't like when Trump won the first time, I was like, oh my God. Or like when Biden won, I wasn't like crazy. It was like it's what like they're all in the same club. And when I do these coverages and when I talk with people, excuse me, and have either debates or discussions, that's always the goal. Realize how crap it is and kind of just give up supporting it and voting and believing in it, and just believe in yourself and believe in God. If you think believing in yourself is a little, narcissistic or, not right with God, or however you want to look at it, but don't look inward. Don't look to these people. But anyway, I've been teasing enough, but he's really about to jump off the deep end here. Excuse me.
We do not need him.
But like I said, I do, even though he's about to jump off the deep end and say some more crazy shit, I do agree with that sentiment, but I just feel like he should have been having that a lot longer. Thus, by this point, if you had been thinking that way longer, you'd be calm right now. And that's another thing I want for people. If you see the deceptions that are going on and you see the bullshit, when the government really hits you with like a big blow, it won't be as big a blow to you because you will know that it's all bullshit and that eventually there's going to do something to really fuck us over. And that won't be a surprise because you'll know that's their goal and you'll know that it's bullshit.
We don't need that motherfucker.
Woo!
Straight up. We don't need Trump.
I love that part.
We do not need him. We do not need white.
We don't need that motherfucker. He reminds me of some of my streams. I love it.
Folks, we can help out.
I talked over the worst part of the whole video though. Let me play it back. We're getting the most out of this
He's
clip.
gonna try to put us back in slavery. Let me tell you something, fam. We don't need that motherfucker. Straight up.
Woo!
We don't need Trump. We do not need him. We do not need white folks.
Whoa. And that's the part when I saw this video for the first time, I was like, I'm a fan of yours. Like, why do you have to take it there? It's like, and beyond just me being hurt by him and I'm not a fan of him, like, that's what my first thing was. But then it's just like, I don't view things this way, but it's like, oh, but you do? It's like, why? Like, do you want to create division? Do you want, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, why do you, okay, so Trump, you believe Trump is a racist asshole loser, so then you're just going to be a bigger racist. It's like, how, like, if that makes you mad that you see that in him, why don't you try to not be that in the most, like, be the opposite of that? Not racist at all. But instead, you're going to be like, oh, he's racist. He's going to be a white lover. Then we don't need him, and we don't need white people either. It's like, okay, like, let's see how successful that makes you when you just play into, like, negativity. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just, it makes me a little sad, honestly. Instead of, like, I want to be mad, and, like, when I first saw it, I was just, like, a little disappointed, though. And, like, it honestly is just, like, I don't know. It's just, like, disappointing, honestly. And I want to be mad and be like, oh, fuck you, Willie D. But, like, honestly, it's just like, damn, I wish he knew better, and I wish he was, like, a source of something more powerful. Like, again, this sounds cheesy, but it's like, if you want to overtake the negativity and the evil and the racism, you have to, if you join in the racism, you're adding more hate into the equation instead of taking it over with something else. And I want to take it over with something else, which is like working together. And this sounds like homo and lame and cheesy. Maybe that'll get me kicked off a kick, but I want to bring people together and work together and beat the hate. So yeah, I thought I was gonna get on here just roast the shit out of him, but that's what he's doing. And like I'm trying to say, I'm trying to replace it with something better, and I just want us to all work together ultimately. So, and like my initial reaction when I very first saw this the first time was just disappointment. Like, damn, like I can understand you saying don't like fuck Trump and you don't need him, but to say you don't need white people is just like lame and disappointing. So I'm gonna rewind it one more time, let it play out a little bit, and then we'll move on.
Motherfucker. Straight up.
But I love him saying fuck Trump. That part was amazing.
We don't need Trump. We do not need him. We do not need white folks. We can help our goddamn selves. We got all the tools we need to help ourselves. We got all the resources we need to help ourselves. There were black people 100 years ago.
I understand black people feel like they've been wronged and stuff, but that's just not the way to be, dude. Like, just because someone else is a shithead, then you're going to be a shithead. Everyone knows that's in their heart. That's not the right way to be. So I'm just disappointed. And I thought I was going to get on here and really get charged up and, you know, get some good content out of this, which I did. I got a good laugh out of the fuck Trump and all that. That was good. But anyway, I'm just disappointed, and I wish he would do better. But anyway, that's all I got from that. Now, this is one of my favorite channels to react to, looking ass. And they're one of the ones, you know, of course, Joe Rogan. Everyone loves him. I love his format. Willie D, you know, has a decent format that I mess with time to time. He has some good takes and good stats and good little short videos, and I like his style. But this is a channel that I really like their style. They're almost like a mainstream news at this point, but they cover a lot of the topics that I would like to cover. And they might not always have the opinion, and a lot of times they probably don't have the opinion I have, but they present the story good in the beginning for the viewer. So I'm getting a cheap, instead of me having to read the news article, whatever to y'all, I get a good opening reading from them. And then they have a few talking heads that give their opinion, and then I can chime in with my opinion, which is usually different because, of course, I'm, what am I? The town drunk? The newspaper man. No. I am basically what I would consider like a truther, maybe conspiracy theorist, but definitely don't believe in the mainstream story and trying to find the truth and ask the good hard questions and have the discussions, have the debates, and definitely not just believe what we're being fed by the mainstream liars. So anyway, if you've been following YouTube for a while, you know, but this is for like the Kick and Rumble streamers that may not quite know the vibe or whatever yet. So anyway, let's get into this. They're kind of talking about Willie D and Snoop Dogg and the whole thing and how Trump is viewed and should these guys be ridiculed and this whole thing that we've been talking about. Not the latest little bit with me and Willie D, but everything before that, and kind of the hip hop artists performing at Trump thing and everyone being mad about it. So let's let it play out.
He performed at the one you guys were at.
Yeah, the Liberty Ball.
And the Liberty Ball. And by the way, we love Nelly. We had Nelly on a year and a half ago, and I'll never forget what Nelly said. We opened up our annual convention at the MGM with Nelly.
9 a.m.
Nelly gets a call. He says, hey, man, these guys want you to perform at 9 o'clock. Shit, that's early. I never perform at 9 o'clock. You sure it's 9 o'clock? He says, yes. He says, they just want me to perform at 9 p.m.? I'm normally 11 o'clock. He says, no. 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
He gets up. He says, never in my life have I given a concert to 10,000 people at 9 a.m. with people on fire. He couldn't believe it. Anyways, he explains himself because a lot of people went out there talking shit. Rob, I don't know if you have that clip or not. And then Snoop, also there's a clip that resurfaced from him in 2017, you know, making fun of, you know, the language with the accent of, hey, if you say this, if you say that. But they performed. I think DJ Khaled was there. Snoop was there, gave a great performance.
Fair use. Get in the comments if you're watching. Let me check the chat. Get in the chat and let me know what you think of Willie D. Basically saying we don't need white people. And the F Trump part was funny. But what do y'all think about the other part? Y'all get in the chat and let me know what y'all think. Do y'all even know who Willie D is? Y'all a fan? Not a fan? Y'all get in the chat and let me know. But yeah, let's get back to it.
Ellie was there lighting it up last night. But here's Snoop from 2017 to now for those that are performing at
Damn, this is kind of blurry.
Trump's event. Go ahead, Rob.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom
Someone you can hear in the background is laughing and like gassing him the fuck up to post this.
ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
I wonder who that is. Wait, is that the same guy?
That's hilarious. So, Rob, then go to Nelly, who's getting criticism about him performing.
That's called a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? Hypocrite, homie.
And by the way, Nelly, sometimes you forget how many great hits he's got.
Oh.
Seriously. Sometimes you forget. But here's Nelly when people criticize him for performing, and look what he says about the $1.5 billion. Go ahead, Rob.
I thought you was riding with me because I put on for my city and I try to bring my city up every step of the way. I did not know you was riding with me.
See, this is the one we watched already, but they're reacting to it too, so, you know.
Because you thought I would ride for who you voted for. I didn't know that. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know that I had to agree with your political choices, and I thought it was the things that you do. This isn't a that
The reason why I'm
a performer, and he's one of those guys. I don't care if you're 18% of the, actually with Amber Rose, so done with the, oh, you're black, so you have to vote this way. Oh, you're Asian, you have to vote this way. You're Latino, you have to vote this. You're a man, you have to. You're a woman, you have to. No. Vote your conscience. Vote what you think is right. Vote your pocketbook. Nelly's a stud. I want to say that his father served in the military, so salute to you. But I'm gonna come at Snoop for a second. Snoop. So
Snoop-a-loop.
Snoop-a-loop. Bring a green hat, homie.
Loop-a-loop.
Hey, what is this?
That was crooked.
Snoop. You know, Nelly has a song, hey, must be the money.
Yeah.
Is there any?
All right, well, I thought they had better takes on this one. I was mistaken. They talk about Soulja Boy and some other stuff. What do they talk? Let's see.
Do that. But it's not okay to change your mind about a political leader, because you know what? The political parties want to tell us that they own our vote somehow, that we are part of their group, and we're not allowed to cross lines. And that is the divisiveness of America that everybody wants. So it's not okay for Snoop from.
Yeah, I think people are real tired of being like, oh, you can't, like, being like, basically, what group are you in? This group or this group? And then, oh, I hate you based on that. People are tired of being labeled this group or that group on so many different hot topics. And then if you are in that group, you automatically get hated by that other half that don't agree with that stance on that topic. Oh, and there's like, at any given time, there's like probably, 4 or 5 big social topics, and if you don't agree with their stance on that, they're done with you. I think everyone's like getting kind of sick of that, and there's probably a title for that, like political polarization or some shit like that. That might even be the term for something that I didn't describe, but if not, I just made up a new term. But no, I probably already described something. But basically, just being polarized over certain things, and they're like, oh, if you don't believe this the same as me, I hate you. And I think people are tired of that. It gets to be too much, and politics is a lot more prevalent, a lot more in our face with social media. We see everything that happens with politics, and it influences us all more than it probably did in the past. So, I mean, it always influenced us, but it's just more in our face. And maybe the argument could be made that it influences us even a little more than it did in the past, being that it still has all the effects that it had in the past of government, but also now with social media, free speech, and just, the progression of government naturally is always going to be more and more laws and more taking away of the rights, so to speak. And once they take away rights or put more laws in, you're rarely going to see it go back the other way. So anyway, that's it for that stuff, I think. Now we're gonna get into uh this is just a little clip from the Speaker Johnson getting asked a question. Then we have a little bit from Trump's border guy, and then we have the two videos of, let's see, one is Trump after the inauguration signing a bunch of bills and answering reported questions, and then this other video is from the day after inauguration when Trump went live to, was this oh, it was actually yesterday. I thought it was Monday, but I guess it was Tuesday. He went live to talk about several things. So oh, the inauguration was Monday. That's right. I don't know why I started thinking it was Sunday. Anyway, so let's watch this first one, then we get into the following two longer videos of Trump.
Republicans have long said you guys back the blue. How do you justifiably say that when Trump just pardoned a bunch of violent January 6 rioters who attacked Capitol Police? And if those rioters come to the Capitol, will you welcome them back here?
So look, everybody can describe this however they want. The president has the pardon and commutation authority. It's his decision, and I think what was made clear all along is that peaceful protests and people who engage in that should never be punished. There was a weaponization of the Justice Department. There was a weaponization of the events. The following, the prosecutions that happened after January 6th. It was a terrible time and a terrible chapter in America's history. The president's made his decision. I don't second guess those. And yes, it's kind of my ethos, my worldview. We believe in redemption. We believe in second chances. If you would argue that those people didn't pay a heavy penalty, having been incarcerated and all of that's up to you. But the president's made a decision.
What do y'all think about Trump pardoning all the January 6th people? Y'all get in the comments and let me know. All right, now they're worried because Trump said he was going to do quite a bit of stuff day one with the border and immigration. That's been like one of his top things that he's run on, pretty much, if not the top one. So let's watch this little let's watch this little Fox News clip about that very thing. And then I think this is a little clip from the video we're about to watch, but let's see, what's the title? I really want to be sure and highlight the part where it should be in this video, but I don't want to miss it, where he bans government censorship. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight that so we don't miss it in the video. But let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
ICE deportation operations have officially begun with a focus on immediate threats to public safety. It comes as border state Arizona introduced their ICE Act, would officially require the state to comply with ICE detainers, but the state's AG speaking out against the president's plan.
I also will not have any part of and will fight the attempt to set up what I believe are essentially concentration camps and family separation camps in the state of Arizona.
Here to explain it, all borders are Tom Holman. All right, Tom, listen, before I get to these Democratic AGs, can you give me the latest numbers on the border?
Absolutely. Look, the greatest president in my lifetime, he's back. Because in 2 days, the last 24 hours, total apprehensions on the southwest border, 766. Compare that to the 10 to 12,000 Biden had at one time. CBP-1 releases, 0. CHNV, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela releases, 0. Total of 766 across the entire southwest border. That is a game changer.
And that is just some of the plans that have been implemented so far. Now let's talk about the 22 governors, Democratic governors that plan on resisting, the attorney generals that are doing this. Tell me the legal authority that they have and the legal authority you guys have if they plan on resisting federal law.
Look, I find it strange that the attorney general from Arizona makes such statements, because there was a lawsuit in Arizona a few years ago, the Show Me Your Papers lawsuit in highest courts in the land that said immigration enforcement is a federal responsibility. Federal responsibility. She has no say in the matter. And look, I've said many times, we said right out of the gate, Lawrence, right out of the gate, we're going to concentrate on public safety threats. So she's saying that she doesn't want public safety threats out of her community. I also am insulted by the term concentration camps. Are you serious? You're comparing ICE agents. We just lost a Border Patrol agent to a shooting up in Vermont yesterday, and they're the Gestapo. Are you serious? Concentration camps. ICE has detention centers. They have the best standards in the entire industry. I'll compare ICE detention standards to any state or federal facility or any county facility in the entire world. We have the highest detention standards, so that's an insult and it's a lie.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a bold thing to compare them to concentration camps.
This is insulting to the agents, the men and women that do the job. Let's talk about ICE visiting folks, because when I look at it, I look at the law, people that have final deportation orders, people that are criminal aliens. What would a person have to do to get a visit from ICE?
For it to be in the country illegally, first of all, I mean, there's nothing in the immigration law that says you got to be convicted of a serious crime to be removed under the INA. So if you're in the country illegally, ICE can visit you. But right now, as we said repeatedly, and the President Trump's been clear, we're concentrating on the worst first, the public safety threats, the national security threats. And just yesterday, in the last 24 hours, ICE arrested over 308 serious criminals. Some of them were murderers, some of them were rapists, some of them raped a child, some were sexual assault of a child. So ICE is doing their job, and they're prioritizing, just as the president said.
It's just crazy that those people weren't being apprehended and sent back to their country prior to this. It's like y'all just, the fact that I'm not saying that's not the case, but it's like the fact that certain people just stopped doing their job is just crazy to me based on who the president is, because that didn't, like I said earlier, that didn't change life for me at all. So
It would.
Wow.
So the ICE is performing excellent right now out in the field, and they're going to continue every day.
You know, Democrats loved you at one point. Now they don't like you so much, Tom. But back in the day, you served in the Obama administration as well. We had Jay Johnson on last week to talk about the border. This is what he said about you. Let's watch it.
When I was in office as Secretary of DHS, I made no significant decision on enforcement policy without having in the room Tom Homan, who worked for me.
Look, you can't have strong national security if you don't have border.
I just wanted to say the main takeaway from this, because I saw him on another channel and he had hit on the same talking points, and they really drilled down on it because it was a left talking channel and they want to know everything they could know about ICE. He was saying if the left-leaning cities that are, I don't remember what he called them, but if they don't want to cooperate and let them in, he said, we're trying to just get the real hardened criminals and guys who have offenses against them first and get them out. But he said, if you don't let us come in and get the guys we know have them in jail already and we have to go out and find them, likely we're going to go find them at work, at home, wherever, and they're going to be around other illegal people that we weren't even looking for. But if we go to somewhere where we're looking for one guy and we've run into a group of people that are illegal, we're going to take everybody, versus if this guy's just apprehended and y'all hand him over and cooperate with us as the local people. He said, so basically the people, the communities that are left-leaning and Democrats, they think they're sticking it to them and fighting hard by not cooperating, but in the end, they're going to fuck over the people that they are trying to cater to. It's kind of a interesting thing of how them trying to push back is actually going to fuck over the people they're trying to help as they see it. So I just thought that was interesting, and I just wanted to say that was for sure a talking point, because I saw him on a left-leaning channel and he made sure to hammer home on that point. So I almost should have played that clip anyway, but you'll still get the idea. All right, let's get into this, and I might speed it up a little bit. This is quite a long video, but I'm just gonna speed it up. 0.1.
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th. These are the...
I'm just gonna take it slow, chill, commentate. Shit, Joey, let me know if you want to call in.
The hostages, approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon.
This is where Trump is pardoning all but 6 of the January 6th. That's funny, 6 of the 6th. Anyway, he's pardoning 1,500 people fully, and then I think there was about 6 people that they were gonna review, but he's a full pardon of all the rest of them. What do y'all think about that? Get in the chat and let me know.
We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. You're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not need for pardon of people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to get a full pardon.
And the order does require the Bureau of Prisons to act immediately on receipt of the pardons and commutation orders. Sir, this is an
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay?
Oh, get it going right now. That's tight though.
Yep, absolutely. This is a proclamation guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion based on the current crisis at the southern border. It invokes various executive powers relating to the ongoing invasion at the southern border.
Mr. President, what makes you confident that those are not going to be blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't think they can.
Oh, I don't think they will.
They're very straight up.
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be.
Mr. President, what makes you confident that those are not going to be blocked by the courts?
I don't think they will. I don't think they can be. They're very straight up. Why don't you take that and go over here? Could you get him over here, not on the side angle? Do you mind? Just go right over here with your friends.
With your friends.
Sir, this is an executive order realigning the United States refugee admission program to better align with American principles and American interests.
Okay.
We got a big old permanent marker for him.
Thank you, sir.
He's a showman, isn't he? Posed with it. Oh man, this is comedy.
This next executive order is about protecting America from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Again, crisis at the border, but it goes beyond that and it implicates other executive powers as well.
Okay.
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Woo!
Mr. President,
And that was actually
sure that Maduro will accept Venezuelans?
Say it.
How will you make sure that Maduro will accept Venezuelans?
Well, we're going to see on Venezuela. We're looking at Venezuela very strongly. It's a country I know very well for a lot of reasons, and it's, boy, it was a great country 20 years ago, and now it's a mess, right?
Sir, can we expect ICE raids starting tomorrow in major cities?
What does that mean?
Can we expect ICE raids in major cities?
I don't want to say when, but it's going to happen. Has to happen, or we're not going to have a country left.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign terrorist organizations.
That's a big one.
Yes, sir.
People have wanted to do this for years. So they are now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign. And Mexico probably doesn't want that. But we have to do what's right. They're killing.
I think they might talk about it here a little later, but that's going to allow him to use the military on the Mexican cartels without declaring war on Mexico. So that's a pretty big deal.
Our people, they're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year. Not 100, like has been reported for 15 years. It's probably 300,000.
This is an executive.
Mexico doesn't want that. How are you going to deal with this?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
Sir, this is an executive order entitled Protecting the American People Against Invasion, which again deals with the southern border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
national security threat to the U.S., Mr. President. What's going to be your priority on foreign policy?
Say?
What's going to be your priority on foreign policy? What do you see as the biggest
Well,
national
foreign
security
policy is a
threat?
big statement. I mean, my priority on foreign policy is going to be to keep America safe. Very simple. It's a big question, though. That's a very big question.
Who is going to be the first foreign leader that you plan to meet, or who you're going to call tomorrow on your first day in
I've
office?
already been meeting people. I've been meeting them. I've been talking to them. I met with Prime Minister Trudeau, who I call Governor Trudeau. I met with numerous foreign leaders. Go ahead.
Sir, this next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Good. That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the course? That one is likely to be passed.
Could be. We think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know.
That's a crazy one too. That people have been able to come into our country and have a child, and that child is now a citizen. That's gonna be crazy to see the change that has on our economy and how long that lasts, though, because it could last for 4 years, and then the next president could get in and repeal it, and then I don't think it would really make that much of a difference. But if that's left in effect for 10 to 15 years, that could have a big, huge effect on our economy, and I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but honestly, I think it's for the best. That would probably piss a lot of people off, but I feel like pretty much every other country, especially countries that are doing well, they do have rules to how you become a citizen of their country, and you can't just come in and have a child and that child is the citizen of their country. I feel like like you said, we're the only ones that do that, and it's like, what effect is that having on our economy? And it's just interesting.
And it's just absolutely ridiculous, but, we'll see. We have very good grounds.
Sir,
People have wanted to do this for decades.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh? You know what that means, huh?
President Trump, did President
Oh, what does that mean?
Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. Wait. Don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know. Oh.
What's in there?
Thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we got it. Wow. Thank you.
What does it say on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that determination.
That sounds great.
Peter, thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
I did. I left him one in the desk, just like this.
What did you talk to him about?
Unification of our country. I didn't know that he gave a pardon to his family because he did it during my speech.
Biden, if you don't know, Biden pardoned his whole family from 2014 until the present day. Not just his son, his whole family. That is so weird and a little unsettling. Not unsettling, but I mean, that's like a pussy way to put it. But why would Biden, anyway, it speaks for itself.
He didn't tell you in the letter?
No, he didn't tell me. No. He did it. They released it during my speech. During my speech. So all I could do was say, excuse me, I'd like to come back and speak some more. So, no, we were surprised by that. It's bad precedent, obviously.
Where do you think
Yeah, for sure.
on tariffs on Mexico, given these actions you're signing on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both, sir.
Sir,
On each.
On each.
Yeah.
this is an executive order taking a large number of executive actions.
What was he saying he was going to do on each?
Numbers of people.
On Mexico, given
I'd like to come back and speak some more. So, no, we were surprised by that. It's bad precedent, obviously.
where are you thinking on tariffs on Mexico, given these actions you're signing on the border?
So, no, we were surprised by that.
Although we have closed captioning.
President,
It's bad precedent, obviously.
Where are you thinking on tariffs on Mexico, given
Where are you thinking on tariffs, I think?
these actions you're signing on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
February 1st, he's going to enact a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both, sir?
Sir,
On each.
On each, yes.
this is an executive order taking a large number of executive actions to secure our southern border.
Okay? Sounds reasonable.
President Trump, we remember 4 years ago, Barack Obama had told you that the top threat to the country was going to be North Korea. Did Joe Biden tell you what he thinks the top threat to the country is right now?
No. I think we have a lot of them. Right now, I think we have a lot. I think North Korea turned out to be good. I was very friendly with him. He liked me. I liked him. We got along very well. They thought that was a tremendous threat. Now, he is a nuclear power, but we got along. I think he'll be happy to see him coming back.
And
I think he has tremendous condo capability. He's got a lot of shoreline.
Are you going to work with countries from South America to coordinate on immigration?
About who?
About immigration in general.
This is an executive order. Sorry, sir.
I'm fine with legal immigration. I like it. We need people, and I'm absolutely fine with it. We want to have it. We need it because we're going to have a lot of companies coming in to avoid tariffs. You know, if you don't want tariffs, all you have to do is build your plant in the U.S. So we're going to have a lot of workers coming in, but we have to have legal immigration.
Do you have a date in mind for when you want to put in on the China tariffs that you're talking
Which
about?
one?
60%?
No. You're talking about which? Say it again.
China tariffs, the
Oh,
broad
China?
tariffs?
Well, as you know, I put on large tariffs on China, and they've really been forced to leave them. And if we didn't leave them, you wouldn't have one steel mill that's open in this country because they were dumping massive amounts of steel. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars from China because they were unable to terminate the tariffs I put on China because it was too much money and the budgets didn't work and other reasons too. No, I mean, we're going to have meetings and calls with President Xi. I spoke to President Xi last week, as you know. Did you know that? I had a very good phone call.
But you stand with NATO at this moment. Are you planning to meet your NATO allies?
No, NATO has to pay more money. NATO
NATO has to pay more.
has to pay 5%. We are, we're in the Ukraine war by $200 billion more than NATO. It's ridiculous because it affects them a lot more. We have an ocean in between. And we've spent $200 billion more on Ukraine than NATO has spent. And they've got to equalize.
Did you talk to Xi about? Did you talk to Xi about the Ukraine war?
Yeah.
Because China and Brazil together has a proposal to bring Russia and Ukraine to talk.
That's good. That's fine.
That's good. That's fine.
When are you going to talk with the Brazilian president?
How did Brazil get involved? This is a new one.
When are you going to talk to Lula?
How did Brazil get involved? This is a new one. And then she's from Brazil, of course. It's beautiful.
Brazil?
When are you talking?
That's why they're involved, I guess.
When are you going to talk with the Brazilian president? How do you see your relationship with Latin America and Brazil?
Great. Should be great. They need us much more than we need them.
Oh, they need us much more than we need them. But she did say supposedly it was weird how she threw in Russia, China, Ukraine, and Brazil. It's like, okay, is that real or are you just making that up?
We don't need them. They need us. Everybody needs us.
This is Mr. President, it sounds like you will not proceed with additional China tariffs necessarily, depending on how talks go with President Xi. Is that correct?
What does that define that?
Well, we were asking, you pledged in the campaign potentially a 10% tariff on China or as much as
Because of fentanyl.
Right. So I'm asking where you're.
That's only because of fentanyl. There are other things too.
Are additional.
And a very big thing is the Panama Canal. China controls the Panama Canal. What's that all about? Then it's supposed to be good. When Jimmy Carter gave it, which was a terrible mistake, he didn't do it. He didn't give it to China. He gave it to Panama. And China controls the Panama Canal.
So are China tariffs
And we're not going to allow that to happen.
Are they still on the table or is that?
We're not going to allow that to happen.
Thank you, sir.
What can we expect of the countries in NATO that spend the least amount of money, like Spain, France, below the 5%?
Spain is very low. And yet, are they a BRICS nation?
What?
They're a BRICS nation, Spain. You know what a BRICS nation is? You'll figure it out. But
you'll figure it
out. BRICS nation.
That is bad if you're a reporter, though. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's like an alliance of some of the European countries that have a currency that's all the same, I believe. Let me look it up, actually. But if you're a reporter in the White House, you got to know what the hell that is. Let me see. What is a BRICS nation? BRICS is an interstate association comprised of the Federative Republic of Brazil, Russian Federation, Republic of India, the Republic of China, and the Republic of South Africa. Huh. Brazil, Russia, India, China, Africa. Oh. Huh. That's interesting. That's why she was talking about the leader of Brazil and Russia. What is BRICS and what is its purpose? The country, and now, so originally it was Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But at the beginning of last year, Egypt, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Ethiopia joined BRICS. Boy, I butchered that. The countries that comprise BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and 5 new members, are an informal grouping of emerging economies hoping to increase their sway on the global order. What is BRICS currency backed by? Huh. The United Arab Emirates. Why was that so hard to say the first time?
Just want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know.
Brazil,
You know what I'm saying, right?
You guys
know
know.
what I'm saying.
Sir, this is an
So it's not even a threat.
He said, "You know, you guys know," and they said, "Come on, let's go." But yeah, if you're a reporter, you got to know what the hell that is, for sure.
In fact, since I made that statement, Biden said, well, they have us over a barrel. I said, no, we have them over a barrel. And there's no way they're going to be able to do that.
This is an executive order relating to
tariffs, those countries, like Spain.
As a BRICS nation, yes. They'll have a 100% tariff if they so much as even think about doing what they thought.
Can you explain how
And therefore they'll give it up immediately. So will China give it up.
Sir, this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions
As per the Supreme Court.
other matters. Yes, sir.
This is a big deal. Merit. Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Mr. President, you had said you would end the Russia-Ukraine war on your first day in office. Where do things stand right now, and how do you intend?
Well, there's only half a day. I have another half a day left. We'll see. We want to get it done.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as DOGE.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk going to get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about 20 people that we're hiring to make sure that these get implemented. We have a problem in this country. You sign an executive order, it doesn't get done for 6 months. As an example, when we allowed the J6 hostages to go out, it might not be approved under the old days for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. You know, they had a good ruling from the Supreme Court, and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened, and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
But is there clemency in your actions today for anyone?
Well, it would be a pardon. That would be a pardon. The one I'm talking about would be a pardon.
Here you go, sir.
Should there be punishment for the people who assaulted?
He mentions it a little later, but he is answering quite a lot of questions while signing these executive orders. And it's like, and I don't think any other president has ever done this the day they get in. They usually have the inauguration, they kiss a little ass, and then they're gone, and we don't see them. And they might be signing executive orders, but they're not signing executive orders. And at the same time, answering reporter questions almost at a 1-to-1 ratio, or he's honestly answering probably twice as many questions as he's signing orders. So it's like not efficient for that, but I feel like the media and the public, to some degree, are getting the most out of this first day.
Law enforcement officers that day.
Well, I will say this. They've been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in history, in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases, I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but you know, what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved. And obviously the FBI was involved because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23?
Whoa, what does that tell you? That the FBI was involved in inflaming January 6th. Is that what you want to hear as the American people? Admitted the FBI was involved. That's crazy.
People indirectly or directly were involved, and it was in 26. That's a lot of people. Now we have...
That's terrible.
We got to take care of these people have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle where they took over a big portion of the city? What happened in Portland where they burn down the city every day and people die? Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And you know, it's almost 100%. Think of this, almost 100% of the people are convicted. 100%. It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, we're not going to let it happen.
About Greenland, we have shown interest in buying it, but is there any other option that would satisfy you?
About what?
Greenland, instead of buying it.
Finland?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland. Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security. And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think they're happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place. You have China boats all over the place, warships.
Oh, man. It's crazy that Trump is talking about, before he got elected, before he got sworn in, he talked about, we're going to annex Canada, we're going to annex Mexico, we're going to buy Greenland, we're going to take Panama back. And it's kind of getting his supporters warmed up to the idea of American conquest and us taking over more of the world. But that's just moving closer and closer towards a one world order, which I am not for. So it's kind of interesting what Trump is leading certain conservatives to think is maybe okay or change their mind about early on during his term.
And they can't maintain it.
When are you going to be talking to Vladimir Putin?
Who?
Do you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
When do you plan?
I don't know. I can't. It's being set up.
What your first trip foreign that might be, sir?
So the first foreign trip typically has been with UK, but I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it, but you have to buy American product, and they agreed to do that. They bought 450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved
And
in.
now, where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know. If Saudi Arabia wanted to buy another 450 or 500, we'll up it for all the inflation.
Mr. President, you say you were going
think
to
I
end the
probably go
war first day. How do you plan to end the Ukraine war?
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
Do you want to push Israel and Saudi
It should have
Arabia?
never started. You know, the war with Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It would have never started if I were president.
Will you push Israel and Saudi Arabia to normalize relations?
I don't think I have to push them. I think it's going to happen, but maybe not quite yet. But they'll end up being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
this year?
Could be, but soon, not in a very long way. Ooh, look at that! It says TikTok. My, what is that
He got excited about that. What's this bill going to be?
all about?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the order.
So we're opening up Anwar.
On the TikTok piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless. If I don't approve it, it has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless. Worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for
If I do the deal, he's not even saying if I pass, if I take the ban away, it's worth a bunch of money. But if I don't take the ban away, obviously it's worthless because it's banned. He's saying if I do the deal, because as he's gonna say is, he's basically, in my eyes, a huge conflict of interest. He's saying I'm gonna not cancel the ban on TikTok only if they agree to sell half of TikTok to the U.S. government. So the government's basically, what would that be called? Bargaining, I guess. But it's like we're seeing the government get involved in private industry, and they're saying we're going to ban whatever it is you're doing unless you sell half of your company to us. Does anyone really see the problem with that? Like, that's very shady territory. And I don't know. That's really getting a little communistic, if you ask me, where like the government has their hands and owns everything, part of everything. I don't want the government to own stuff like TikTok. We saw what happened during the cough times, and like the government basically, according to Zuckerberg and others, was like telling and influencing social media what they had to ban and censor during that time. Do we really want the government in charge of one of the biggest social media platforms? Do you think you're going to have free speech on there anymore? Like, come on, the implications of that are terrible. So I just think it's kind of bold of Trump to sit here and say, oh, if I do the deal, he's not even saying if I uphold or basically if I uphold the ban or if I cancel the ban, here's the circumstances. He's saying if I do the deal, it's worth this much or this much. It's like he's already just pretty much telling you that he's using his role as president to bargain like a deal, and that's conflict of interest. Like the government should not be in the position to buy a company like that. So I don't know. I just think that's super crooked, and like it's crazy that he's saying it that blatantly.
Is worthless. Worthless. If I don't approve it, it has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless. Worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
The TikTok
In other words, I think
if I do the deal, it's worthless. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless. If I do the deal, it's worth $14 million. I think the government should be entitled to half. It's like, bro, that's a dangerous precedent you're setting.
the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth You know, it could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
Did he go from 14 trillion to 1 trillion?
TikTok. And
Oh, no, I guess
congratulations.
not. I don't know where I
United
came up with the
States.
14.
Nothing. If I do the deal, worthless. If I
Changed that you're not worried about that anymore.
well, it depends on the deal. I mean,
And they asked him, like, what changed where you used to warn people of the dangers of TikTok, but now you're not worried about that anymore? And he's like, well, it depends on the deal. Oh, so it all just comes down to money. What about, like, the safety of the American people and morals and doing what's right and all that kind of thing? It's like, oh, no, if there's a big deal amount of money involved, let's do it.
I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless. If I don't approve it, it has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless. Worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. $1 trillion. So if I do the
I don't know
deal,
where I got 14 from. I guess I just made that up.
I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
The TikTok
In other words, I think
In other words, wait.
the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be
All right. Give me a second. I'm going to go to the restroom, get another something to drink. Give me about a minute. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that's a good deal for TikTok and that the government should be able to do that and that Trump should be able to bargain his power like that? And like, it should just be about what's right for the American people and what's good for America. Not about, that's what he always says, right? Not necessarily making the best deal and making all this money. I mean, I guess that money is for the government too, but, you know, national security and what's going to be best for the American people, moral-wise and security-wise, is not always, you know, that doesn't, like, sometimes you might have to pass up a good deal to do what's right morally and security-wise. So anyway, y'all get in the comments or in the chat right now or comments later and let me know what y'all think about that. Do y'all think the government should be able to buy TikTok or ban them if they don't? It's almost like, let us buy half, or if not, we're going to ban you. It's like, that's a weird conflict of interest. So anyway, I'm going to run to the fridge, get a little drink. Y'all give me about a minute or so and I'll be right back.
It's that Centex boys, and we're out here, and we got something to say. Man, what the fuck is going on with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Another day. Another day I gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that were lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. Gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that were lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. Never know when you're gonna lose your life someday. There's a price to be paid, way worth than gold. Evilness wanna take your soul. Wake up when you're gonna wake up. The finger is pointing too close to home. Always attacking when alone. Even started taking our phones just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day.
You didn't like me Sunday. I got unity in my circle. Where was your unity for me on Sunday? I don't like you right now.
Another day, switch it laced. About to put out a mixtape called Switch the Tapes. Syntax, run my main, I'm a great. Syntax, main name, another name. Riding in the car with Dollar. Mac Life Shutters. Ain't happened yet, but I'm a speaking prophet. I came up from Cam and Paul and Thug. Chad Butler. Bitch, what the fuck is a drug? We in the dome. People done lost their mind. Have a day with no phone. Love to say I told you so.
Fuck you, my promo code. Don't move in human ways, got the one that makes me go. Think they do, but don't hold a candlestick. Blowing many different kind of cannabis. Got a Candace Owen type bitch shaking it. No doubt, give it all up to get out the matrix, bitch. It's that fuck around and find out. Let me hear your battle cry now. In the game, ain't no timeouts. Got some shit we can line out. I put that on nip, feeling like 04 tip. LOG ain't losing my grip, bitch.
We don't love our neighbors. We don't love our neighbors.
So where's the unity?
There's some unity out
Where?
there, bro. I got unity. I got unity.
You
in my
didn't like
circle.
me Sunday.
I got unity in my circle.
Where was your unity for me on Sunday?
I don't like you right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like you. You know, like.
But where's the unity? Where's the unity? Why wasn't black people saying?
I think it's okay, man. I think it's okay when people have certain grievances or whatever, and then you try to come together and get understanding. Because that's what we're doing right now.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
My bad, chat. All right. Get back to it.
Worth, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
The CEO now, did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO of TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it. Because he's got nothing.
He's got
They really have
nothing.
nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president the right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it
He thinks it's deal or no deal.
a little bit or a lot. Depends on them.
Polices it a little bit or a lot. You like the way that sounds?
But remember, they make telephones in China. They make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. There's so many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people. But it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. buy a portion of TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok could continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner. But the U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value of TikTok.
Would there be a private sector owner as
Could
well
be,
in the
yeah,
US?
could be a lot. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok.
You wanted
I
to
bet they
block
have.
TikTok. Why did you change your mind?
Because I got to use it. And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know. I think, to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half?
Sir, if you don't 90 days, will you shut them down?
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this? How many
That's
news
a damn
conferences,
good
Peter,
point.
has he done like this?
Like this?
None.
Zero.
And it would be zero for the next
That's crazy.
infinity. For infinity, it would be zero.
Mr. President, when you please talk to President Musk, going to help implement the executive orders? I think you mentioned
No,
implementation.
Elon, no. Elon's very busy sending rocket ships up to various places.
He did say earlier that Elon was going to help implement and make sure these executive orders got done. The first time through, I missed that. I thought she was just putting words in his mouth and trying to play them against each other, which she is probably a little bit. But he did say that Elon was gonna be helping with these. So then she asked him about that again. And he's like, no, no. It's like, okay.
Places with lots of satellites on them.
What is your reaction to the confirmation of Marco Rubio, and what does it mean for Latin America?
Which one?
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio. You said Marco. Marco.
Marco Rubio.
Yeah, he's. I think he's great. I think Marco's doing a fantastic job. I think he's going to get a lot of votes. I think he's going to be at 90% or something. I mean, I'm hearing very good people know him. They know him in the Senate. They know he's good. He's doing a good job. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's got some very strong ideas now, Marco.
You signed the TikTok order, right? Did you sign the TikTok order?
Yeah.
Yes, that was just signed.
President Marco Rubio's ideas is
Just signed it.
How many
still
did you sign?
changing
How many
Venezuela,
He
changing
just signed it, but he just signed it with what? I think he signed it to keep it in unbanned for another 30 days, but I could be wrong. Like, did you sign the TikTok one? He's like, yeah, but to me, I don't know what that means. He signed it what? Because it was already going to be banned, so he signed a temporary extension, I guess? I don't know.
power. Are you still committed with Maduro leaving power in Venezuela?
Well, we're going to find out about that too, because we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. We don't need their oil.
Another embargo like the first term?
No, it could be, but we don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves. So,
President Trump.
of the vote. The Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs, but I believe in the sanctity, and this was too big.
They cheated like dogs.
Could be, but don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves. So,
President Trump.
of the vote. The Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs, but I believe in the sanctity, and this was too big to rig. This last election was just too big to rig. But no, really the opposite.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but how long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled. It's not making him look very good. Now, eventually, you know, I mean, it's a big machine, so things will happen, but I think he'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger, they have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
It just gave me the right to sell it or close it.
Oh, they asked him, what did your TikTok order do? Give me the right to close it or sell it. Wow, crazy.
Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China too, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Mr. President, you're not guaranteeing that TikTok will be around after 90 days from today?
No, but it could very well be. It makes sense for it to be, because it's got tremendous value. But if we create the value by approving, you know, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value. If that's the case, then we should be entitled to 50% as a country. You understand? You haven't heard that one before, right? That's called a joint venture. And nobody ever thought that way before. Well, I don't know. I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in TikTok with the United States as a partner.
Mr. President, what was it like walking into the Oval Office this evening?
Oh, what a great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this count better now than 2017?
Yeah, y'all get in the chatter comments and let me know what y'all think of Trump proposing that the government buy half of TikTok to keep it around. And if y'all think that's a good thing or not. Y'all let me know.
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with some very good people. I've dealt with some very bad people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are. You know, don't forget, I was very successful in primarily the real estate business. And people used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I'd always say, you know, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff and other people like that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
You said you plan to speak with President Putin soon. What about President Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. I mean, he wants to make, Zelensky wants to make a deal. I don't know if Putin does, he might not, I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's gonna be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy, you take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope, I got along with him great, and, you know, I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, are you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke. And October 7th would have never happened.
Broke.
And I think you all know that. It would have never happened. They had no money. Now they're rich, but, you know, they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The Pagers, and others. You know, the attack on air defense was a bad attack for Iran.
What are you citing now, sir?
It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
How confident are you, Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of this deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2-state solution?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza
I like how he said that's not our war. I like that.
is like a massive demolition site. That place is...
I think as Americans, we're tired of getting into wars. You know, wars are lame. Nobody wins. A lot of innocent people die. You know, there's, you know, and as humans, we're going to face other problems too. But if we're not killing each other, that'd be a good start. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, kumbaya sounds lame, but, you know, there's something to that.
It's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
You know, nobody wants to send their family members off to die, and then if they come back, they've been gone for 4 years, 5 years, however long, and they've had to live through hell. That's, you know, nobody wants that.
Do you plan to help rebuilding Gaza?
I might. You know, Gaza's interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, the best weather. You know, everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
How do you see the future in governance for Gaza?
Well, it depends. I can't imagine you could have, well, you certainly can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly. So you can't have that.
Mr. President, on TikTok, sir, do you pause any decision on Chinese tariffs until you know what the resolution on TikTok will be? Are those things
No,
connected
if
at all?
China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs, and we charge them very little, except for what I did. I put a lot of, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off, and they never paid anything. But, like, if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok, and it was a good deal, and China wouldn't approve it, then I think ultimately they'd approve it, because we'd put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, if you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility, and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on here, which one would you call?
It's interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think they disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter? Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the Republicans hadn't won Michigan or Wisconsin for decades, long time. And they all laughed at Bill Clinton. Like,
That's not what I expected, but
the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right because I won both of them. And then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states, all 7. They talked about 7 swing states. We won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great political sense, I think.
You looked like you were having a good conversation with President Obama at President
I
Carter's
was. And you'd like to know what it was? Oh. Everybody wants to know. I know, I wouldn't want to, but we were having some. I was. And you'd like to know what it was? Oh. Everybody wants to know. I know, I wouldn't want to, but we were having some crazy conversations. Why do you asking a question like that? I don't think you want to know. You might not. You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information. This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
Sir, you also
That's a big one. You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump.
I believe at some point I was watching this at my grandpa's house, and should be coming up soon. He pulls out of the WHO, the World Health Organization, and that was the one that I was most impressed by. So hopefully we see that within the next 10 minutes or so.
At some point, will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. I will.
Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live.
And I got to read this letter.
He can't take
At some
that.
point, will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. I will.
Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
Can you tell us now?
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live.
And I got to read this letter too because of you. I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I know you would. Your father would too.
But is it anything to these drones? Is there anything that people need to be worried
No,
about?
I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting, right?
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security concern?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today. You know why I liked it? Because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were fair. Maybe the fake news is changing.
Unleashing energy production.
Yeah, unleashing energy production. But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. It's obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been hurt because it was really cold. It was like, looked sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy. The wind brings it down a lot. So we made the right decision. You couldn't have stayed. I don't think you could have had it out. You know how cold it was today. It was, people went out for a little while just to test it.
He does not want you to think it was about national security where they can't protect them from a sniper, assassin, drones. They're so sophisticated. It wasn't because of the drones. It's like, that's not what we've heard prior, that we don't know what they are. There's nothing to worry about, but we don't know. It's like, and then when they try to ask him, well, are you going to tell us what the drones are? He's like, yeah, I will. They're like, now? He's like, no. That was a good part, but it's like a lot of deflection and not a lot of honesty in this portion for those Trump supporters.
They couldn't stay out more than 10 minutes. They all came back in. So we would have had a disaster if we did that, and people would have been hurt.
People would have been hurt.
Is that related to the Hunter Biden situation?
Which one?
The one on unlawful disclosures by federal officials, is that related to
No, I think it's just more general than that. It's not Hunter Biden. I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family because that makes him look very guilty. You know, I could have pardoned my family.
It looks real
I
bad.
could have pardoned myself, my family. And I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now because I would have shown that you're guilty. But by pardoning his brother or brothers, by pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, the Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents. They deleted all of the information. There's no information. And a lot of the information pertains to Nancy Pelosi because she was given 100, I mean, you know this, it's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of 10,000 soldiers or 1,000. You wouldn't have you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall. It was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live with it. Now, with that being said, it's unbelievable precedent it creates for a president. But the precedent is unbelievable. Now maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every president they ever met so they don't have some lunatic like deranged Jack Smith, who's a total lunatic, by the way. Not a smart guy, he's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him.
I don't even know who the hell that is. But yeah, that's a terrible look. Where you can just pardon whoever you want on your final day as president because you don't care. That's a bad look for the country.
My reputation.
Do you think you'd have to do the same thing at the end of this term?
Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty. And I mean, he pardoned everybody. How about this J6 committee? Why is he pardoning them? The reason is because if you delete and destroy documentation, everything, they have nothing because they were guilty as hell. They rigged it. It was a rigged deal. And when you do that, they look very bad. But I was a little surprised he did it. Liz Cheney, I mean, she's a lunatic. And she lost by the greatest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress.
Yeah, my ears are
like
plugged
40
up.
points. The reason it was the greatest is because anybody losing that badly is going to drop out. But she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. You know.
All right, dude. Are you gonna? Oh, I think this is where he's about
She
to
just
sign
keeps
it.
chugging forward, and she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest
She
number
just keeps
anybody's ever
chugging
lost by.
forward.
But why would
Go back.
Biden do that? He out. You know, she just Congress, like 40 points. The reason it was the greatest is because anybody losing that badly is going to drop out. But she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. You know, she just keeps chugging forward. And she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest number anybody's ever lost by. But why would Biden do that? He pardoned her and pardoned everybody. The reason is that they destroyed documents. And if you're even in a civil case, which this wouldn't be, I mean, people go to jail for a long time for doing that. What's this one?
That's unleashing American energy, sir. It relates to easing permitting processes and other regulatory systems to ensure that we can produce energy efficiently to drive the American economy forward.
President Trump, looking around the office, we noticed some changes from the way that Biden had it set up. Can you confirm that you have added back the Diet Coke blood?
I think this, first of all, I just got here. So my people came in. They have extraordinary decorator sense, right? Let me just see some of the pictures. That's a good one. I could live with him. I could live with George Washington, I can tell you. I can live with Thomas Jefferson. I can live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one.
That is a big one.
So we paid $500
I love
million
that.
to World Health when I was here, and I
Trump.
terminated it.
Trump withdrawn from the World Health Organization. Love it, hate it. Y'all let me know.
China with 1.4 billion people.
You think we got it wrong during COVID? So did they. They really got it wrong during COVID.
We have 350. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally. But let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million. We were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens. Pretty sad though, think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
Mr. President, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks. What actions are you taking today that will have a direct impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring the cost down?
The biggest thing and factor for inflation is energy. They screwed up my energy policy, and then they went back to it. You know, they heard it really badly, and then they went back to it, and they started drilling more, but by that time it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing, and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal, you know, Energy, Department of Energy, we're going to be taking a lot, we're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. You know, European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars and we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, you know, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, our oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas.
Will you travel,
And they should do that.
Will you travel to China this year?
Yeah, it could be. I've had the invite.
Mr.
President, she's
President,
invited
I would
you
do it,
to
yeah,
come this
I
year.
would do it.
talking about the European Union and the tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that European Union country like maybe is part of BRICS?
That it what?
BRICS.
Oh, BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS is 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be happy about what's going to happen to them.
Are you still considering?
That was a big claim. And I think we read earlier BRICS started out as 5 nations, but now it's 9 or 10. Let me read the Googles again. BRICS is a interstate association comprised of the Federative, I don't know why that word gives me such a hard time, Federative Republic of Brazil, so Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And a year ago, they added Egypt, Iran, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia, and Ethiopia. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 countries. United Arab Emirates. I don't know why. Yeah. Just weird. Emirates. That's a weird word, kind of.
Considering a universal tariff, Mr. President, on all countries?
Arab Emirates.
We're not ready for that yet. We may put it, wrap it, because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing in a way that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. We have a deficit with almost, not all, there are a couple, I won't tell you their names because I don't want them to find out about it because they'll feel stupid. But there are a couple of countries that actually don't make money with us. But I don't want to let you know because they'll immediately change that. But we're gonna do. I tell you what, our country has an amazing economic future. I really believe that.
What kind of universal tariff if you did do one?
Well, you put a universal tariff on anybody doing business in the United States because they're coming in and they're stealing our wealth, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting our companies. So you put
I'd like to see him put a stop to foreign countries and citizens of foreign countries buying and owning land over here. I would like to see him put a stop to that. That would be a good thing.
Put a tariff on to keep them from doing that.
Mr. President, you surround yourself with a whole bunch of billionaires today. President Biden, in his farewell address, warned about an oligarchy. I'm wondering if you can respond to that.
Well, he had a lot of guys, and then they found out that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and I think they deserted him. They deserted him, those same guys. Look, I don't make pretense of smart guys, But there are a lot of smart people around. But they did desert him. They were all with him, every one of them. Now they're all with me. I don't know. It's not going to get anything from me. I don't need money. But I do want the nation to do well, and they're smart people, and they have, they create a lot of jobs. And if they don't do it, China's going to do it. You know, what they've done is they've taken industries and they've taken it away. They outsmarted China. And, we sort of like that. It's okay. They've done a great job. A lot of them, not all of them.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh.
Mr. President, going back to the World Health Organization, you were the president during COVID. Don't you see the importance of an organization like that to coordinate a global response?
No. We do not need the World Health Organization to help us coordinating with stuff like COVID. They smoked that.
Sure, I do, but not when you're being ripped off like we are by the World Health. World Health ripped us off.
And they suck. Their response to COVID was just as bad, if not worse, than ours was, and we do not need them directing us. Fuck the World Health Organization and fuck globalization. Fuck the globe. We don't need that shit.
Everybody rips off the United States, and that's it. It's not going to happen anymore. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, Bill. One last one, sir. This is your Martin Luther King Day proclamation.
Thank you, Press.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Press. Thank you very much.
All right. That was the evening after the inauguration on the same day. Now, this was the next day, about mid-afternoon, like 2 or 3 o'clock Central Time. I was going to go live right as this was coming on, but I had to run to the grocery store. I guess I didn't have to. I could have put it off even more. Probably should have to get this live as it was happening. But anywho, we're going to go live and react to it now. Kind of a late night stream tonight. Getting all our good Donald Trump fix for the inauguration early on in the year. Maybe kind of get it out of the way. I'm kind of getting a little worn out on it. That way, Friday, when we have our weekly Friday stream, we can maybe cover something a little different that's whatever else is hot right now that's maybe not this. Unless Trump does something crazy or new that's worth covering. But more than likely, hopefully, we'll have something different to cover Friday. So let's see. Let's see if he has anything different to say. Different than he did probably about 12 hours prior.
Nice to see you.
Or a little
Some very
less than
familiar
that.
faces. Well, thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here today. We have first full day as president. We're back, and we had a great first term, but we're going to have an even better second term, and I think we're going to do things that people would be shocked at. We're starting off with tremendous investment coming into our country at levels that nobody's really ever seen before, and they're very happy with the fact that I won the race and that they feel confident in their investments, and it's big money and high quality people. So my first day back from having a nice life, it's my honor to welcome 3 of the world's leading technology CEOs, and in the case of Larry
My first day back from having a nice life.
Ellison, it's well beyond technology. He's sort of CEO of everything. He's an amazing man, an amazing business person. But to announce the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history, and it's all taking place right here in America. As you know, there's great competition for AI and other things, and they're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO, my friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman. So that's great that you're coming in together. That's a massive group of talent and money. Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States, and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately.
Stargate. Let's get the closed captions up and go back and take this slow. What is Elon Musk's internet thing called? Hold on. Starlink. And this is called Stargate.
That you're coming in together. That's a massive group of talent and money. Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books.
Stargate.
Because I think you're going to hear
We already
a
have
lot about it
Starlink
in the future.
with Elon Musk. Now we have Stargate, which is a government thing. Stargate. How do you like that? If you know, you know. And it's going to be dealing with AI. That's weird.
Future, a new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. This monumental undertaking is a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential under a new president. Let me be a new president. I didn't say it, they did. So I appreciate that, fellas, but it'll ensure.
Me and my brother were talking several weeks, if not a month or so ago. And I don't remember who brought it up, but I know he definitely was feeling this on his own, and I agreed with what he was saying. So I think more or less it was his kind of idea, but I definitely did not oppose his feeling and agreed. He was saying, I feel like Trump, and I think I floated this idea too, but he is going to get all the right wing people so comfortable with a lot of things, and then everyone's going to be basically the conservatives and the people that are just the conservatives and Republicans and all that, the people that support Trump, they have this calmness that, okay, he's in, we know what we're going to get. And maybe even the people that oppose him, even if they hate him, they feel like, we know what we're going to get. We've seen all his tricks. He might not be as bad as we work ourselves up to thinking. You know, we kind of know what we're going to get. But what if he comes and hits you with a curveball and no one expects Trump to be the one to like embrace AI and push that forward, but that's the very thing that it looks like he's going to do. It looks like he's embracing AI and he's pushing that forward. And all these people that are supporting him and conservatives and Republicans are probably not thinking, they probably think that's the last thing that Trump is going to do is go with AI. But then he has you real comfortable thinking you know just what he's going to do. And because you're calm and not on high alert, that's when he can come through and hit you with the curveball because you're not expecting it and you're not ready for it. That's kind of what happened during COVID, because everyone thought Trump was going to have everything under control and everything was going to be sweet while he was in. Then when they hit you with COVID, it was that much worse because no one thought it would happen with him in charge. We weren't ready. And that's kind of what I said way earlier in the stream. If you're alert to what's going on and you know it's all bullshit, when disaster strikes, you can be ready. If you see it coming, you can be ready. But when everyone thought it was all good because Trump was in and disaster struck, they were not ready. They were totally caught off guard. So here again, if we're totally comfortable thinking we know what we're going to get from Trump and then something terrible happens or he tries to usher something terrible in, we're not going to be as on high alert for it because a lot of people are all relaxed. They think they know what they're getting from Trump.
For the future of technology, what we want to do is we want to keep it in this country. China is a competitor and others are competitors. We want it to be in this country, and we're making it available. I'm going to help a lot through emergency declarations because we have an emergency. We have to get this stuff built. So they have to produce.
I'm going to file emergency declarations. He thinks we have an AI emergency? It's an emergency to get it built that fast? Oh, come on, dude. That's a little weird.
A lot of electricity, and we'll make it possible for them to get that production done very easily at their own plants if they want, where they'll build at the plant, the AI plant, they'll build energy generation, and that will be incredible. But it's technology and artificial intelligence, all made in the USA. Begin immediately, Stargate will be building the physical and virtual infrastructure to power the next generation of advancements in AI, and this will include the construction of colossal data centers, very, very massive structures.
Ooh, those scare me too. Big data centers. It's like, I guess that's what they need for AI, but yeah, it's just weird.
I was in the real estate business. These buildings, these are big, beautiful buildings. They're going to employ a lot of people. And physical campuses in locations currently being scouted nationwide. They're making their choices of locations. I think they have their choice. I'd like to ask Larry, Sam, and Masa to say a few words and just talk about a little bit about what they're doing. And if you have any questions, and then we'll go into a couple of other subjects also. But this is, to me, a very big thing. $500 billion Stargate project. I think it's going to be something that's very special. It'll lead to something that could be.
Y'all get in the chat and let me know. $500 billion project, Stargate. What do you think of it being so closely named to Starlink, which is Elon Musk's internet? Excuse me. And what do you think about the Starlink, Stargate? And then it's with AI. That's really weird. And the fact that he's going to do a bunch of emergency declarations to get it done fast is also weird to me. You know, I need to do an episode soon where I break down all the things that line up and all the things that are going on that relate to aliens, and then how it would be if they were demons, and like, you know, either way, like, yeah, I need to do a video on that soon, but that's a lot to deep dive into. But it's just weird that he's doing this with AI and it's called Stargate. That's real weird to me.
Be the biggest of all. So, Larry, maybe we'll start with you and we'll go down the line. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We certainly couldn't do this without you. It would simply be impossible. AI holds incredible promise for all of us, for every American. We've actually been working with OpenAI for a while and with Masa for a while. The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas. Each building's 500,000 square feet. There are 10 buildings currently being built, but that will expand to 20 and other locations beyond the Abilene location, which is our first location. The kind of applications that we're building, to give you an idea, maybe the most charismatic and the one that I think touches us all is electronic health records, not just maintaining electronic health records, but by looking at electronic health records, understanding the condition of doctors, better understanding the condition of their patients, and being able to provide healthcare plans that are much better than they otherwise would be. A doctor in Indian...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure y'all storing all our health records is only to help us and give us better insurance. Is anyone believing that load of crap at all?
The condition of doctors, better understanding the electronic health records, not just maintaining electronic health records, but by looking at electronic health records, understanding the condition of doctors, better understanding the condition of their patients, and being able to provide healthcare plans that are much better than they otherwise would be.
We already have digital health records. There's no way that that's what you said is true.
An Indian River reservation would be able to see how a doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering would treat the patient, or a doctor at Stanford would treat the patient. We actually provide all of that information, all of that guidance to the doctors who are treating cancer patients or patients with any other kind of disease, made possible by AI. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I'm going to pass it to Masa, but this is a very exciting program for Oracle to be a part of. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
He's so full of it.
That's good. That's great. I feel tall now.
What, they bring him on a stool?
Thank you.
Let me
Well,
go back.
Mr. President.
This is a very exciting program for Oracle to be a part of. Thank you.
Brought him out a stool.
Thank you. That's good. That's great. I feel tall now. Thank you. Well, Mr. President, last month I came to celebrate your winning and promised that we will invest $100 billion. And you told me,
Oh, Masa, go for 200. Yeah. Now I came back with 500. Because this is the, as you said yesterday, this is the beginning of golden age of America. This is one great example, I think, right? We wouldn't have decided to do this.
I think so.
This is the beginning of golden age. We wouldn't have decided unless you won. And yesterday we agreed, we signed to make this happen because of this day. So we would make this happen. We would immediately start deploying $100 billion with the goal of making $500 billion within next 4 years, within your term, right? Because of your success. So we are very, very excited to do this. And our partner is, of course, SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and additionally investing partner with MGX. On top of that, we have the technology partner, NVIDIA, and of course, Microsoft has been very, very supportive to SAM and continue to support all our success. This is not just for business. As Larry said, this will help people's life. This will help solving many, many issues, difficult things that otherwise we could not have solved with the power of AI. I think AGI is coming very, very soon. And then after that, that's not the goal. After that, artificial super intelligence will come to solve the issues that mankind would never, ever have thought that we could solve. Well, this is the beginning of our golden age. Thank you very much.
Artificial super AI. I guess I said artificial twice, but artificial super intelligence. What do y'all think about that?
I want to say I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era. And as Masa said, for AGI to get built here, to create hundreds of thousands of jobs, to create a new industry centered here, we wouldn't be able to do this without you, Mr. President. And I'm thrilled that we get to. I think it'll be an exciting project. I think we'll be able to do all of the wonderful things that these guys talked about. But the fact that we get to do this in the United States is, I think, wonderful. So thank you very much.
Could you just say one word? I hear so many positive things about what it's going to do for medical research and for solving things, cancer and all the different problems. How will AI help us with the fight against the various problems, diseases, etc.?
These guys can maybe share more about some of the work they're doing there. I think they'll jointly be some of the leaders about driving progress here. But I believe that as this technology progresses, we will see diseases get cured at an unprecedented rate. We will be amazed at how quickly we're curing this cancer and that one and heart disease, and what this will do for the ability to deliver very high quality healthcare, the costs, but really to cure the diseases at a rapid rate.
How is that going to happen?
Among the most important things this technology does.
Great. Very good. Thank
Can I speak and answer that question? So we're currently working on. Should I step on this? Okay. All right. No.
Now he's tall.
I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall. I'm not.
You look even better.
Power move. Use a stool even when you don't need it. That's such a Trump thing. Look at this guy. He loves it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh man, let me go back. That was good.
Great. Very good. Thank
Can I speak and answer that question? So we're currently working on. Should I step on this? Okay. All right. No. I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall. I'm not. Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most exciting things we're working on, using the tools that Sam and Masa are providing, is a cancer vaccine.
They all ended up using the stool there. That's good.
Very interesting. It turns out, I'll be quick, all of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again, using AI in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
That's a little scary.
Thanks.
Yeah, just 1 second. We'll finish up. But you know, these are highly respected guys. I was shocked with Larry because I don't even think Larry does this stuff. You did a very good job for a guy that doesn't do it much, right? But he's so respected, and the group, and it's really an honor. But for Larry to be here and do this is very unusual because he doesn't do this stuff. He doesn't need it. He does, and you don't need it, do you? Huh? You don't need it. But I think it's an honor to the country. It's a great honor that this group, these are the top people, that they're going to do it, and they're going to do it here, and we're going to make it as easy as it can be. A $500 million Stargate project comes in addition to a separate pledge between $100 and $200 billion from, as we know, from Massa, we talked about before. Also, $20 billion from DMAC, which was great, and we have many others that are coming. Some I just say just announce it; it's easier. But with some, I know them, and they're so highly respected. I'd rather do it this way. Many would like to do it this way, but we're letting the world know what's happening. This is money that normally would have gone to China or other countries, but in particular China. In total, before the end of my first full business day in Washington in the White House, we've already secured nearly $3 trillion of new investments in the United States, and probably that's going to be 6 or 7 by the end of the week. Tremendous amounts of money are coming in for many things other than even AI. AI seems to be very hot. It seems to be the thing that a lot of smart people are looking at very strongly. And our country will be prospering like never before. I think that's true, and it's going to be the golden age of America. As I say, yesterday we had the most ambitious, action-oriented day of any administration in history. No, there's never been a first day like yesterday, as you know. I signed a sweeping slate of executive orders to stop.
Yeah, Trump was literally busy all day Monday. He got sworn in at like 9 or 10 in the morning, and then that probably, I don't know how long that took. Not too long, probably like 30 minutes-ish. And then he had a like good 30-minute speech after that. And then he had like another good 30 or so minute speech after that. And then I think he might have had one more speech after that. And then he might have had a little break. And then later on, he was signing the it was probably ending around the time the national championship game was starting. So he probably had like a little break from like 3 or 4 to like 5. And then from like 5 to 6-ish, roughly, he was signing those things and having the reporter questions. So he was busy all day the first day. And then this was the next afternoon. So he probably, who knows what he was doing the next morning. But he had a busy first 24 hours, or I guess 48-ish, 36. In that 36 to 48 hours, he had a pretty busy first 48, let's say.
Up the invasion of our border.
As far as giving media time and being in front of the public eye on camera for, a good, let's just say maybe around 10, 11-ish hours. That might be a little on the high side, but he spent a good amount of time on TV and answering questions and being interviewed or giving speeches and getting sworn in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he's had a busy, and then not to count the weekend activities before that, like the crypto ball and other stuff. So he's been a busy man lately, but especially since getting sworn in, he's been busy with giving the media tons of speeches and answering questions. So anyway, plenty of content for us to go over, analyze, criticize, and I'm kind of doing these streams without much real super analytical in depth to them. I'm kind of just going through them and reviewing them so that I've watched them here with you. We've posed our few questions, and then I feel like the streams maybe tomorrow and Friday and this weekend or whenever, I'm probably for sure gonna have the Friday stream and then the following streams, in the coming weeks as we have our discussions, we'll be able to dive deeper on said topics whenever they really start to impact us, like the TikTok thing. We'll see where the chips fall on that. Maybe a few January 6th people will get interviewed after getting released. We'll kind of go over that as they kind of impact us, or the stories re-pop up. Then we'll rediscuss them and kind of have maybe deep dives and give our opinions on them. But this is just kind of there was a lot that hit these first couple days, and I just wanted to cover it all before it kind of was old news. So anyway.
I launched a government-wide effort to defeat inflation and bring down the cost of daily life and bring down the cost of energy, magnificently bring it down.
Y'all get in the chat, or if the video is already posted, y'all get in the comments and let me know how y'all are feeling about after Trump's first 2 or 3 days in office. Life's probably hasn't changed for you, but is there anything you've seen that he said or that you've heard that really stuck out? And you're like, oh, just give me your opinions. What have you heard? What are your thoughts? First couple days in.
And when energy comes down, Larry, I'd say generally speaking, when energy comes down, everything else comes down. The prices of food and the prices of everything else come down. Energy is that's the big baby. And we declared a national energy emergency to drill, baby, drill, a term that we
Drill,
use.
baby,
We're gonna
drill.
drill, baby, drill, like never before. We ended destructive DEI mandates across the federal government and returned our country to a merit-based system and a common sense system. As you know, the Supreme Court gave us a decision on merit, where things in this country can be based on merit now instead of a lot of different rules, regulations, and things that really put our country at a big disadvantage. We permanently stopped government censorship and restored free speech. That was signed yesterday. We renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Sounds so beautiful, the Gulf of America.
Why?
And returned the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley. They took off the name. And he was actually a great president. He was a very, very successful businessman. He ran for governor of Ohio. He won and did a great job as governor, ran for president, and he won. He was assassinated.
Hold on, let me go
He
back.
found censorship in this federal government and emergency to drill, baby, drill. The prices of food, of energy, executive orders to stop the invasion of our borders. I launched a government-wide effort to the golden age of art. It seems to be the thing that a lot of smart people are looking at. Amounts of money are coming in for many things other than even AI. AI seems to be very hot. It seems to be the thing that a lot of smart people are looking at very strongly. And our country will be prospering like never before. I think that's true, and it's going to be the golden age of America. As I say, yesterday we had the most ambitious, action-oriented day of any administration in history. There's never been a first day like yesterday, as you know. I signed a sweeping slate of executive orders to stop the invasion of our borders. I launched a government-wide effort to defeat inflation and bring down the cost of daily life and bring down the cost of energy, magnificently bring it down. And when energy comes down, Larry, I'd say generally speaking, when energy comes down, everything else comes down. The prices of food and the prices of everything else come down. Energy is that's the big baby. And we declared a national energy emergency to drill, baby, drill, our term that we use. We're going to drill, baby, drill, like never before. We ended destructive DEI mandates across the federal government and returned our country to a merit-based system and a common sense system. As you know, the Supreme Court gave us a decision on merit, where things in this country can be based on merit now instead of a lot of different rules, regulations, and things that really put our country at a big disadvantage. We permanently stopped government censorship and restored free speech.
What does that mean? Permanently stopped government censorship. Y'all remember that if they censor us later. He permanently stopped government censorship. I don't want to hear anything about the government censoring us or anything about any social media platforms censoring us because the government made them. Here it is, folks. Clip it.
That was signed yesterday. We renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Sounds so beautiful, the Gulf of America. And returned the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley. They took off the name. And he was actually a great president. He was a very, very successful businessman. He ran for governor of Ohio. He won and did a great job as governor, ran for president, and he won. He was assassinated ultimately in the second term, unfortunately. But he was the tariff king, and he.
The tariff
I don't
king.
think he was as bad as I am. I think I believe in him even more than him, but he believed in him very strongly, and he raised massive amounts of money. Our country was at its richest from 1870 to 1913. We had the most. That was when we were the richest, relatively speaking. We were the richest during that period of time. That was tariffs from other countries. And our administration's moving with unprecedented urgency and speed to confront every single crisis facing us, and we'll get the job done. And again, I want to thank Sam and Masa and Larry for being here. It's an
Masa.
honor to have them.
That
And
name's
we'll
so
take
weird.
a few questions if you want.
You would agree that it's
Charged all over. You take a look at what's gone on in Philadelphia, take a look at what's gone on in LA, where people murder people and they don't get charged. These people have already served years in prison, and they've served them viciously. It's a disgusting prison. It's been horrible. It's inhumane. It's been a terrible, terrible thing. I also say this: you go to Portland, where they wrapped police officers, shot police officers, nothing happened to anybody. You go to Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city and people died. Portland, a lot of people died. Wait a minute. And you go also take a look at Minneapolis, because I was there and I watched it. And if I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city wouldn't even exist today. People were killed and nobody went to jail. So these people have already served a long period of time, and I made a decision to give a pardon. Joe Biden gave a pardon yesterday to a lot of criminals. These are criminals that he gave a pardon to. And you should be asking that question. Why did he give a pardon to all of these people that committed crimes? Why did he give a pardon to the J6 Unselect Committee when they burned and destroyed all documents which showed that they did what was wrong?
That's weird. All the stuff around January 6th, Biden pardoning the committee about January 6th, Trump's pardoning the people that stormed the Capitol on J6. It's real weird.
Wait a minute.
What do y'all think about all these pardons on both sides?
Why did they give a pardon to all of his relatives? His brother, who made millions of dollars, to all these different people, he gave pardons. That's the question you should be answering. All right, go ahead, yeah, please.
Tell us a little bit about your meeting. Can I just follow up that really fast?
No.
I just want to ask
Go
you
ahead.
this. You said
Tell us about your meeting with Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune. Did you reach any conclusion on this one big?
Pretty much. I think we have a good situation now. It's been in some ways made simpler by Los Angeles because they're going to need a lot of money. And generally speaking, I think you'll find that a lot of Democrats are going to be asking for help. So I think maybe that makes it more one-sided. I think we're going to do very well. Look, we're going to take care of Los Angeles. I'm going there. I'm going to North Carolina, which has been abandoned by the Democrats. And I'm going to North Carolina, very importantly, first. I'll be there on Friday. And then I'm going from there to Los Angeles. And then I'm going to Nevada. And I'm really going to Nevada to thank them for the vote, because we won Nevada overwhelmingly, and that's usually a Democrat.
And the Oath Keepers were freed following the pardons yesterday. At the time, back in 2021, you urged them to stand back and stand by. Is there now a place for them in the political conversation?
Well, we have to see they've been given a pardon. I thought their sentences were ridiculous and excessive. One of the guys took down a flag that was an anti-American flag, and he was given years in jail. I don't know the exact number, but he was given many years in jail. I thought it was very excessive. And at least the cases that we looked at.
Appointments for cabinet officials?
I think, yeah, if it's needed. I don't think it's going to be needed. Marco, as you know, got passed, got approved, who's doing a great job right now. I really want to have done, I was talking about this with the guys back in the Oval Office. Los Angeles has massive amounts of water available to it, all in a day even. It turns toward politically. I think they're dead politically. What they've done, they've destroyed the city. What they've done to that city is unbelievable. Their sprinklers are so demanding that they apply at times to something else going on that we don't understand. But
I just want to see if he talks about anything new that we didn't cover in the other one, because, I mean, we could watch this whole thing and watch him ramble, but I kind of want to just, I don't want to just sit here and watch this and not say anything. So I'd like for him to address a new point that I haven't heard him go over. The stuff with the fires in Los Angeles I covered, you know, as he was talking about that coming up to the inauguration. So I've already given my thoughts on that. I don't want to just sit here and watch this thing verbatim. I kind of want to be giving commentary. So I'm going to kind of skip around, see if he says anything new. If not, I'll probably end out the stream. We've been going for probably almost 2 hours. And anyway, I feel like we made some good points, had a good stream. So I'm going to see if he makes any other new arguments or, discussions that we could make my arguments off of. If not, I'm probably going to round out the stream. I'm getting a little tired. And anyway, let me see.
Want the water that they're throwing away. I was with Devin. You'd see an acre season immediately let that water come down to.
He's really bashing the.
Nobody can answer that. Something happened where something went wrong, and they arrested the 2 officers and put them in jail for going after a criminal, a rough criminal, by the way. And I'm actually releasing. No, I'm muted about 16 shoot people in the street. But that couldn't happen because the election was rigged. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President, there's been some debate within your orbit over whether or not to keep or eliminate H-1B visas. What's your position on that? Do you want to keep H-1Bs or do you want to get rid of them?
I like both sides of the argument, but I also like very competent people coming into our country, even if that involves them training and helping other people that may not have the qualifications they do. But I don't want to stop. And I'm not just talking about engineers. I'm talking about people at all levels. We want competent people coming into our country. And HB1, I know the program very well. I use the program. Maitre d's, wine, experts, even waiters, high quality waiters. You got to get the best people. Now, then you go into people like Larry, and he needs engineers, and Massa needs, and this gentleman needs engineers like nobody's ever needed engineers, right? So we have to have the quality people coming in. Now, by doing that, we're expanding businesses, and that takes care of everybody. So I'm sort of on both sides of the argument, but what I really do feel is that we have to let really competent people, great people come into our country, and we do that through the H-1 program.
Mr. President, are you looking to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico in an effort to force negotiations sooner on USMCA?
No, it's really not on USMCA. It has nothing to do with that.
I don't even know what that is.
They've allowed both of them. Canada, very much so. They've allowed millions and millions of people to come into our country that shouldn't be here. They could have stopped them, and they didn't. And they've killed 300,000 people last year, my opinion. So heal. Then the election went, let's put it nicely, didn't go the proper way. But the hostages are starting to come back. If I weren't here, they wouldn't be back ever. They would have never come back. They would have all died. If this were done a year earlier, if
I don't even know what he's talking about. That's hilarious. They would have all died
2 years ago, or frankly, it should have never happened. October 7th should have never happened.
Oh
nobody.
my God! Okay, he's like a wind-up doll. He needs some new phrases uploaded to the Trumpy bot.
He's the one that got us involved, along with Cheney and a couple of others, convinced Bush, which was a terrible decision, to blow up the Middle East. We blew up the Middle East and we left. We got nothing out of it except a lot of death. We killed a lot of people, and John Bolton was one of those guys, a stupid guy. But no, you can't have that for life. You shouldn't expect it for life.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I don't know. I mean, look, President Zelensky would like to have peace. He's told me that very strongly. He'd like to. Going to be in for tariffs. It's the only way you're going to get back. It's the only way you're going to get fairness. You can't get fairness unless you do that. But the European Union's treated us very badly. But essentially, everybody treats us badly. Everybody treats us badly. Yes, go ahead. Because we allow them to. Because we've had stupid people doing this, and we can't have. I'd like to have these 3 people negotiate for us, just for 1 week, and we'd be a rich country again. But we'll be rich.
Mr. President,
but we'll be rich.
Centers, will you rescind?
But they've lost massive numbers of young soldiers. And with that being said, I thought the Capitol, the Rotunda, was beautiful. 72 degrees. Yeah, well, I think just basically it was a little bit of an inspirational type letter, joy.
Settle that. Can you tell us about that?
I did, yeah. I said, you ought to get it settled because President Putin very soon, and we'll see a disaster from them. But you go back just 6 months ago, many of these young people, approximately.
All right, I think we saw everything. I skipped around a little bit. Most of it was the same old Trump. So I think that's a stream for the night. Uh, I got a little impatient with the last video, but he was starting to say a lot of the same things, and I wanted to sit there and watch the stream and not say anything. Uh, but anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought of the stream tonight. Um, I know it's been a little Trump heavy lately, but that's pretty much the biggest thing going on right now. You know, after Christmas, the first month or two of the year is always pretty slow with the economy and just with content, usually in general, too. Everyone's just kind of, it's just a slow time of the year. But big things with Trump going in, so that's what's taking up the news feed and what's good for me to talk about, which it would be anyway, but especially now because there's not a lot of other stuff going on. So we'll see. Hopefully there'll be a different something for the Friday stream, and we'll have something new and entertaining to talk about. Maybe I'll try to get somebody to call in or something, and hopefully I'll try to get a guest on the podcast soon. I'd like to do another episode soon, and I've been busy with other stuff behind the scenes, not really related to the podcast, just kind of taking care of business. But I would like to kind of start doing regular podcast episodes where I'm getting somebody in the studio with me and having a good conversation, because I know y'all enjoy that, and I enjoy those as well. So I guess until next time, y'all let me know what y'all thought of the stream, all the different topics we were having, and the points I raised. And until next time, that's OG from Where There's Smoke. I'm out.